This is a glimpse into my life. Life with Eric.
Eric's here.
And I'm Kylie.
And I'm Eric.
Okay, I think we know who you are.
Oh.
Oh. Well, 'tis the season.
For what? Thanksgiving?
To be fucking tired.
I know. We're doing this podcast. We just got back from Thanksgiving holiday.
It is December 1st is tomorrow. And all I can think about is everything I need to do for Christmas.
I swear we just got done podcasting, too. We just
it
seem to do a million
feel
podcasts.
Like it was real, like yesterday.
I know. I went to say, what are we going to talk about? And we just got a riff, man, because got nothing. So just riffed. Riff.
I think you're riffed.
The first thing I have to say is I'm looking at you, and I think you have like sparkling cider or something like that. What
I
is
know
that?
that's a sparkling rosé.
You have a sparkling rosé in front of me, and behind it a Diet Coke. Are you hungover?
No, I just had my I was drinking a Diet Coke, and then I got a little bit left, so I figured I'd
Why don't you
finish
just pour
it.
the Diet Coke into the sparkling?
That sounds
rosé.
disgusting.
It's the same dip.
No, it's
you
not.
take a sip of that and then a sip of that.
No,
Seems silly to me.
that's not silly.
But anyway, Thanksgiving. We talked about it last week.
Yep,
We're all tired of Thanksgiving.
It's now come and gone.
We had a quiet Thanksgiving,
We
but
had
it was
a very
nice.
quiet Thanksgiving.
Ate a lot of food. My stomach's pushing out now.
Pants are feeling a little tight.
It's
Is
weird.
that why
My
you bent
stomach-
down and your crack came out? Because your stomach pushed it out? Your pants
No, it's because I
down?
only bought one pair of jeans, and I wear the same jeans the whole time.
So they're a little stretched out.
I keep tightening my belt. I can tighten my belt because my waist stays the same, just my belly gets higher.
And so the pants drop lower and lower.
As you get older, men, I don't know if this is for women. I can't speak for women. When you're stuffed, right under your, let's call it your tits or your chest, push out. It's not like you're so much your belly; it's way up high. So is the stomach way in the hell up there?
I think it is.
It pushes high. And if you ever look at kind of old men that are kind of in shape, let's say Sylvester Stallone being one of them, it pushes high under the breast.
I don't think men technically have a breast.
I don't even know chest.
Your chest, I think.
Your pecs.
Your pecs, yeah.
It
you have those.
pushes high and hard right in that area.
Huh.
And if anything below that, just kind of flabby.
Okay, great.
Yeah. But me, a man in my age and shape, I'm pretty good shape.
Yeah.
I'm not as flabby, but it still pushes there.
Oh, is it still tight?
It's pushing and it's tight.
It's still tight.
Right.
This is also why when we got home, you were like, I gotta go to the gym after you ate lunch.
Right. I went to the gym.
What'd you do at the gym?
Just to, pretty much not much. Just got the it's a little bit of stretching and rolling around on that thing, that foam thing. And
so you didn't like run a mile or two?
No.
Oh, okay.
I swim. I swim on Monday, and we'll do that. I mean, I'm about to go to the gym tomorrow too.
Did you do some abs?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I did that, but it's hard to crunch all the way because the stomach's pushing out.
Did you
from all
fart
the
whilst
turkey.
crunching?
No.
That's a valid question. If you're telling me that it's hard and stuff.
That's true. I did not. One thing embarrassing happened to me. Well, you say it. Yesterday, Kylie's dying. Like, you think that she watched the funniest comedian ever, and it's just me. And I didn't even intend for it to happen.
Well, so we went to Thanksgiving at my parents' house in Graygle. And so it was just the four of us, very quiet, and the dogs who were not quiet. But so we'll go to bed earlier because we wake up earlier because of dogs. So it's like 9.
Yeah, 9:30, something like that.
And Eric's like, I'm going to go get ready for bed. So our bedroom and bathroom are upstairs. And I mean, everyone in the house can hear that you're getting ready for bed and you're like brushing your teeth.
Well, I didn't know anybody can hear anything.
Oh, yeah.
Up there.
And so he's brushing his teeth. You can hear the water on. And I hear like a little like toot from upstairs. I'm downstairs. We're all downstairs except for Eric. I hear a toot.
Because you listen for that stuff for
I was
some
like,
reason. You're a weirdo.
Did you just let her toot? So I didn't say anything. I just kind of looked up like, oh, whoops. And then about 3 seconds later, I can't. You just let her rip.
Big old loud one. And then
two big old loud ones.
And then I just hear a laugh like that coming from downstairs. And I'm like, damn it. I kept thinking I was like in my own house or something.
My dad also starts laughing, but not loudly. My mom's like, what? Because she didn't hear it.
She's just dying. Kai's like, do another one.
But it's like it just like
echoed
like, down the stairwell.
It's kind of a long ways away, too. It's not right around the corner. I couldn't even brush my teeth in peace. She's dying. If you were like Kylie laugh, just fart. That makes her laugh every
I
second.
mean,
No wonder you're married to me. You're laughing all the time.
I also knew that you would be so embarrassed that everybody heard.
Well, I wasn't happy about it. I'll tell you that. I was
I'm
not.
still dying about it.
I was not excited about it. I was like, stop laughing. And then you keep telling everybody. I'm like, oh, did you hear
Well,
that? Did you hear that?
And then when I went,
I'm glad your
woke up
sister
this-
wasn't there.
When I woke up this morning, my mom was like, "Did he admit that he farted?" Because you're like, "Oh, the floors are a little squeaky up here."
You got to think of something, on your feet.
I don't think you need to think of anything. Everybody knows what happened.
I was asking Kylie before we got on the air, since we're on the subject of this, and everybody, I'm sure, has a lot of turkey farts after Thanksgiving, and then it's kind of inevitable.
If you eat a lot of food, I mean, think about it.
Yeah, just kind of gassy and stuff.
Right.
But there was this reel on the internet, and this girl marathon. And a lot of people have seen it by now, probably, because we even heard it on another
this
podcast.
is a couple weeks
But this
ago.
girl's running. She's in very good shape, but she's running
a
freaking,
marathon for
she's
crying
running
out
freaking
loud.
fast. The girls that are really good at marathons and stuff, they run fast.
No,
They're
because
running.
you won't
They're not
win if you
jogging.
don't.
Yeah, they're not jogging.
You
They're running.
You lose. If
They're
you,
running for 2.5, 3 hours.
Yes.
And so this girl is obviously in one of the top marathon people, and this guy's on a motorbike, and he's going alongside of her with a camera filming her, and she's like, excuse me, can you not film my backside or my ass? I just shit my pants. Thank you very much. Thank you.
He's all, yeah, okay.
He's like, yeah, okay, thank you. And you just video the front of her.
Very
But
nice.
I thought that was really funny.
Why?
Because, she didn't look, I don't know if there's a look, but she didn't look like she shitting pants, and she wasn't losing stride, and there's
Pretty
nothing
much
coming out of her shorts.
every marathon runner shits their pants.
What? Because they're dehydrated.
Like a legit, not like a, just like
I don't
a,
really think every marathon runner. I
like
think
a legit,
they highlight
like,
it, yeah.
no. When, at some
triathlons, they
point
do.
in their life, yes. Maybe not every race.
Maybe they just lose control at a certain mile. They lose control of their sphincter.
It's not like a lose control. It's like, especially if you're running to win, because you get so dehydrated because you've been running for hours,
And things start
and it
squirting
just
out.
and you can risk, I'm going to stop and shit, but I'm going to lose, or you just run through it, shit, and win.
You do that little squeaker, little
I don't
Hershey
think
squirt.
I don't think it's even a little. I think they know it's coming.
I
I think you just let it go.
yeah, you don't wear white, obviously. You wear.
No,
you wear.
you just let it go, and you're like,
She had
and
blue spandex tight shorts.
I would
on.
maybe slap on a diaper. Would I even hold it?
Who wants to run in that?
That's true.
You rather just run down your leg, just feel like
It
water
does.
or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
all the time.
But I thought it was funny. She was so polite. Excuse me, sir. Can you?
Do you want to know why she shows polite?
what?
Because this isn't the first time she shit her pants.
Oh, probably, yeah.
She's like, this is what I do.
Well, the guy was nice. He goes, okay, and you just video the front
It's
of her.
very common for marathon runners to
Me,
shit.
as a viewer, I wanted to see her go to the back of her and see a big brown
Ew,
spot.
Why?
I don't know, it'd
It's
just
not a
be
big
fun.
brown spot. It's running down her leg.
Yeah, and she wasn't a gross old runner. She's pretty
They
attractive.
all do. It's a thing. Google it.
Okay, yeah, if I Google runners shitting their pants, I'll probably get a
You
million
probably get a
things.
million.
Where's your phone? You don't
I
have
don't have
it.
it.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
even know where it's at.
Okay, those of you, I need a report. Somebody Google that. Runners shitting their pants.
It's a thing. It's called like a runner's shit.
Well, I've never heard. I know people that do a lot of long distance swims and stuff. I don't ever heard of swimmers shitting their pants. Like you can barely go to pee or whatever, but I don't know.
I think it's different.
Better to shit your pants in the water than on
Hell
dry
yeah.
land, I think. But
At least it'll rinse out.
yeah, I'm sure it's happened. Rinse them shorts out.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a legit runner's thing. It is.
Yeah, I enjoyed that video though. It was very honest, as honest as you could be.
And she was not embarrassed.
You'd think the guy maybe would have videoed the back of her, but he was being very polite.
No, that is very nice. I mean, he might have just not aired it.
Oh, that's true. It looked, I don't know, it looked like he was being pretty legit.
I mean, if somebody asked me not to do that for that reason, I'd be like, I get it. I got okay. If you were like, oh,
Well, I mean, the guy was
Don't fucking
videoing
film me, then I'd
a lot
film
of
you.
marathon runners. They had
he sees a lot of shit.
they had that girl that was kind of famous in the Ironman, and she
shit her
got
pants.
she was in first, and she was right to the 100, 200 yards of the finish. She fell to her knees, shit her pants, and she was just shitting her pants and like throwing up, crossing the line.
Jesus
And everybody was
Christ.
passing her, and she was
Did
like
she
crawl.
fucking die?
And it was like
after?
the agony of
Did
defeat.
they take her in an ambulance?
Oh, I'm sure they did. Yeah, it was a pretty famous deal. She was just like collapsed before the finish and lost all her bowels. That's hard, man. Iron Man.
That's like on the verge of death. Also,
I know guys that just did the Iron Man and stuff. They swim with us, and Your body like shut down. They had to walk the rest of the way, and they're good athletes.
Yeah.
You know, once your body just shuts down, you just have to walk, or you don't finish. But they
Or
all
you
they
lose
all
your
have the
bells.
mentality they want to finish.
Right. So if you need to shit your pants to finish, you're going to do it.
I'm gonna turbocharge you to the finish. I would do
Right.
it.
Maybe that's a little extra push.
Yeah, a little less weight to carry across for the
Right.
last like 500 yards.
Right.
But I think they have I think it's pretty famous for triathlon stuff. They jump into a bush and take a shit or something.
I don't know.
Or they have sauna huts out there and they run. And
I
go
mean,
in
I
there.
think marathons also offer that, but I think if you're running in it like
if
a
you're,
race,
if you're trying to get in the top
if
10,
you're going
you
for
can't
a
stop.
time,
You can't stop.
You can't stop. You just run.
because the other guys won't stop.
Correct.
So
So if you're shooting for a time, you just shit while it's running.
yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing that really fascinates me about marathons is now this video.
So you're gonna become a marathon runner? Should you have a reason to shit your pants?
No.
Oh,
The only reason I should become a marathon runner is
because you'd be good at it.
right. I'd be really good at that. Yeah. No, Tony, you're not supposed to shit before you start the race.
Shitting on the
I
line.
thought that'd get me going a little bit. Yeah.
This is just my first one of
You know
the
they have
day.
those sponges full of water. Then you just wipe.
Oh,
You just
they might.
you like open your pants and wipe down the back. I would.
I wonder if they just
'Cause they're-
grab
they're
one and
water.
wipe up a leg.
Oh yeah.
Just like, oh, let me scoop that up while I'm running.
Yeah. Wipe. Clean yourself
So let
up.
me throw it. Whoever has to pick up that cloth after.
Right.
Yikes.
I mean, well, shit happens. That's the saying, dear.
It does.
Yeah.
Literally.
So Kylie and I, before we went to Thanksgiving,
What we do?
I went to Costco.
I met you
I
at
went.
Costco.
I went to Costco myself first to get some stuff,
Right.
and I looked through all the Christmas
Which
stuff.
we
I like
said
to
we
go down
did
the
say
aisles.
this last week that we went to Costco. You went to Costco and got your pumpkin pie.
I know.
Okay.
That's true. I did.
This is part 2 of our Costco.
Oh, because I forgot. I was going to maybe mention
extravaganza.
this, but anyway, so her mom wants to get her dad this barbecue flat grill thing, and we all want to pitch in and stuff.
We're all pitching in for it's a Blackstone, but it's fine.
Actually, you're giving free plugs here.
It's fine.
Blackstone
I
Barbecue.
think
Everybody
everybody
sees it in
knows
Costco,
that either
or
it's
either
at
has
Costco or
one.
they have one. Yeah.
Right.
So
And-
we're all pitching in and getting him a Blackstone for Christmas.
Yeah, so I go by there, and there's actually 6 there, and then we went back in, and I said, I can't get in the car. It's too much.
You couldn't fit it in your car.
Right.
Also.
So I said, meet me, and I'll go back in with you. We'll just go get it.
Yeah.
So when I get back in there, there was 6. There's only 4 when we went back in there.
Right. It's a
That's
popular
crazy.
item.
I know. So of
Because
course,
it's a great sale.
Kylie doesn't want the one on the ground. She
No,
said
because
it looks beat up. So
the box looked beat up. Well,
and I go, what matters, right?
right.
And I noticed when we unloaded this one, when we got home, it's all taped up. It's been damaged and everything. It's
Well,
yeah, they drop them and hit them with a forklift and stuff.
Well,
But anyway, I'm sure the inside product's not just the
I'd
box
like to
is
hope that they
damaged.
packaged them well.
Yeah, they like retaped it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, so I'm starting to pull this big heavy box off the thing, and I'm like, you got it. And I was gonna actually at first just tilt it down and roll it kind of onto
as
the
you
cart.
should have.
And that's what I was going to do, but you kept saying you got it,
I
you
got
got
it.
it. I said you got it. I'm gonna pull it off. Okay, I'm gonna pull it off
I
now.
got it.
She pulls it off. It breaks her fingernails.
I know. So
it smashes her leg.
I don't know if I didn't anticipate it being that heavy. I don't know what the hell happened, but I didn't have. I mean, I was kind of at an angle. Let's pretend that's the reason why. And so it like, and I also have the weakest hands in the world, and it like slipped through my hands, but literally broke 3 nails. And then slid down my leg. I have a nice bruise for that, and just hits the ground.
Yeah. In the meantime, I about blow my back out.
Trying to
'Cause
like,
I'm whoosh.
because it pushes you down
Yeah,
with
it
it.
flies me down with the whole thing and it drops. Everybody looking at us. So
Oh,
then,
whoops,
so
don't
then I
got
have to
it.
kind of lift it up on myself anyway and roll it.
Right,
I was
you
just
just
gonna
done it by
roll
yourself.
I was gonna roll the other one onto the cart anyway.
Right. Should have just let you do it.
Right. It's freaking barbecue's killing me.
Kid literally almost killed me.
Yeah. And then when I got it out of the car, what did I do? Put it on the ground, roll it.
Yeah, and it
slid
worked fine.
Yeah, I could have did the same thing. I don't. When it comes to lifting stuff, I can't listen to you because you don't know what you're doing.
You shouldn't.
Right.
And then I realized as we're standing in line that this stupid box is 147 pounds. And I was like, well, no wonder. Who
Yeah,
thought I could carry
And then
147
I was kind of telling
pounds?
my dad that story, and my dad goes, "I know, because they got one or something, or had to get one. One side's super heavy.
I bet that's the
and
side
the
I
other
got.
side is light. Yeah,
I bet I got that side.
He says they pack it just,
That makes me
they
feel
don't pack
better.
it equally.
See, I
So
can't.
I'm sure that was it.
I can't take 100 pounds.
Yeah, because my side must have been light, and I thought it was not super light, but not that bad. And then I'm like, wham! So you probably had 100
Oh.
pounds of it or something. on your-
Right. No
on
wonder I got
your-
a big old bruise on my thigh.
on your fingertips.
Oh, God, those nails hurt.
I know. And it went down just like a load of bricks. Boom,
Oh, it
that
totally would.
fast. I'm like,
Yes.
I thought you said you had it.
So did I.
I guess I don't.
Apparently, I do not.
Right. And then people started looking at us, and we looked just like these two.
This
segment of Life with Eric is brought to you by
430 National.
Great American Storage
America.
and Reno Yard,
For all your outdoor storage needs.
which would be therefore
I
decided.
felt like hillbillies like those too.
Oh, God, right? Then we decided after our debacle of getting it through Costco into the car, into the garage, that my dad's not allowed to touch it, period.
Why? Because you won't.
Because he thinks that he's like 25 and can carry
yeah.
147 pounds.
Yeah, so now we got to load it back in the car and take it all
So
the
we
way 2
basically have
hours
to
out
like
there.
deliver it because it's for the Grey Eagle house, and that'll be fun.
The only good thing is our brother-in-law, I said, well, since we
I
did
know.
all this, you have to put
You
together.
can put it together.
Because I can't put shit together.
Oh,
You don't
God,
want me
no.
to put it together.
We don't want you to touch
I
it.
am not good at that
You're
stuff.
horrible. You don't know how to read
Right?
directions.
I'm more of a, even though I was in the construction business, I'm more of an artsy type.
Right, and you don't put a barbecue together by art.
Yeah, backwards. That's how I would put it together.
Right.
So that's what happened.
I'm great at putting them together. I just don't want to. I can't, and I also have, again, no hand strength, so I can't screw things in very tight.
Right. You screw them loose and then it breaks.
No, I screw them loose and then I make you go back and tighten
You're really
them
good
all.
at putting stuff together, though, actually.
I
compared
know.
To me, so
I
that's
just
pretty
make
good.
you go back around and tighten everything.
Right.
Right. That's our system.
Now, last week on our podcast, we talked about, people going
I
around.
don't even know what we talked about. But
Yeah, barely. I know. I do remember this part, though. We go around the table and everybody says what they're thankful
right.
for, and you say
and
you
I hate
that.
it. Yeah.
Now, I don't think that's appropriate
Why?
because you need to be thankful for something.
I'm not saying I'm not thankful. I'm saying I hate doing that.
Right. But I was talking to Tanner on the phone today, and he said he has a bunch of friends come over, and they name something. They say something, maybe not what
I
they're
would say
thankful
I would be
for.
thankful if we didn't have this conversation.
Right. But we have a podcast. We got to talk about something.
Right.
But anyway, so Tanner says, yeah, a lot of his community people come over, and they'll
I find it funny that he calls his community
a community.
when it's just his like
Instead
friend
of
group.
a group of friends.
Right.
But nowadays, the millennial
It's their
era
community.
or whatever,
It's fine.
they say, oh, it's our community comes over, meaning, 5 couples.
Your couple friends.
Yeah, a couple of friends. We have the Waints. We call them the Waints, though. We don't call them the community. They're
Right.
called the Waints.
Yeah.
But, and I have my swim friends and these friends and
Right.
this group of
But
friends.
you
my
have your
acting
swim
friends.
community, your acting community.
Right. But that's what you.
I know.
that's
It's
just-
the
yeah.
new slang.
But when I watched this documentary this week that
Right.
it was kind of a weird documentary on happiness, and happiness revolved around the communities. Meaning,
Yeah.
like if you're in an African tribe, that's like a community, or you're in Denmark and there's
I
a
can see
community.
we were discussing this further afterwards. And I because at first you told me about it when you were watching it and I was like, okay, whatever. And then we were talking about it today. And their communities though are not family members. So it's like not sometimes like a family, not that it's forced, but it's kind of like they kind of have to be your community. Like, oh, I need a ride. They kind of have to give you a ride.
Right.
you know? Where a community, it's like a choice.
It's friends.
So it's nice to know that like you have people that are choosing to be with you or choosing to help you or choosing to be in your community, whatever you want to call it.
Right. So they went around the world and found out the happiest people. And some of the happiest people are like in an African tribe. They don't really have any money or anything. They just gather and everybody helps each other out. It's like almost like a village raises the kids, so to speak.
Right.
That's where that comes from pretty much. And their happiness is everybody counts on each other. And because you're in a community, you actually don't have to do that much work and stress you
Because
out.
it's like a
because
house
everybody
of like
pitches
5
in.
families, is that what it is? Or something like that?
No, I mean that was in Denmark or whatever.
Oh.
I was getting to that. Where's the happiest place to live on earth? And they said it's Denmark. The happiest people are in Denmark.
Oh, that's
And they said
interesting.
why? Because a lot of people are in commune houses, and they have like 4 or 5 families live in one house, and then the women make dinner, a couple times a month for like 40
Yeah.
people, and everybody helps everybody with homework, and
Right.
and and then you don't. If you're a single mom, this lady was a single mom.
Oh, that's very helpful.
So she's like, I actually could hang out with adults and not have to be so
Oh my
stressed
God,
out.
right. To
and
have
you're
an
not-
adult conversation
Yeah,
when you
so-
don't have another adult around you normally would be probably life-saving.
Right. And the kids have other kids to
Well,
play
and-
with all the time.
Well,
and that
yeah,
kind
the
of thing.
kids, and then I feel like it's also nice too. Like you only cook dinner, 2-3 times a month.
Yeah.
So it's like those other nights of the week you can like hang out with your kids or get your shit done that you want to get done.
Yeah, they said you get 3 more hours to spend time
Yeah.
with your family or whatnot. So it's kind of basically by watching this whole thing.
You want to move in with a community?
Or maybe we should. Well, the Waints will all move in together. That's kind of what it is. Like Marcus's house is a big piece of property, all move in together.
Right? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's just not the American way. But that's why Americans aren't based on the happiest people there
They're
are.
not happy.
Yeah, but
I mean, think nobody's fighting about why you didn't unload the dishwasher or why am I doing the dishes after I cooked to dinner,
right, there's
and
just-
the laundry.
Yeah, and you get more peace time and more time to reflect. And when you want to run issues or problems by somebody, you have somebody to run by.
Who's actually witnessed what's going on because they're watching your life
Right.
unfold.
Now, I told you this answer, but see if you
Yes.
can name it.
I know the answer.
Who is the least happy people?
The Japanese.
The Japanese. I never because River went there and he said the people were very nice and all, but that
They're
doesn't mean people
nice.
aren't nice.
You can be unhappy and nice at the same time.
They actually have a name of a cause of death that when people work too much and are too stressed out, they just die from that and they call it that name. I can't remember what it was, but they work so much. And I guess what happened was when the bomb dropped, they had to rebuild everything.
The atomic bomb.
Yeah, and they had to rebuild everything. So everybody was really work minded, and you work 16 hours a day, and everything was all about work, not
Trying
family,
to
not
rebuild.
this and this.
Yeah.
And then so even when you couldn't spend time with your family, the guilt builds up, and then the spousal thing builds up, and then unhappy marriages.
Well, it's probably just
and all that kind of
mass. Like
stuff.
if I don't work, then I'm guilty about this. If I work, I'm guilty. There's just a constant level of guilt.
And now Japan is very successful and built up, but it's still ingrained in the people.
It's carried generationally down.
Yeah, and so they're rated the least happiest people.
Interesting.
But bottom line, everything came down to community,
Right.
and the people you're around and the friends that you have.
Which I
that
can
kinda
see
thing.
that because it's which you have said like your goal the past couple years was to like make new friends or not make new. I mean,
That was my New
you
Year's
had friends,
resolution
but you
2
like
years
never
ago.
hung out with them.
Because I'd always say no, because I'm
Right.
too busy. I got to work.
Okay, you retired 2 years ago.
No, but I said I'll do
Yeah,
that 2
and
years ago. That's
so
what I've been doing.
Because of it, I feel like you've been happier because you have these relationships with that people that aren't forced to hang out with you and talk to you like your mom.
Right.
Not that your mom's not great, but
Yeah. But it's nice to have other people.
But you get like validation, like, oh, I maybe am kind of cool and people want to hang out with me.
I am.
I mean, people say so.
Yeah. The funniest
I'm
thing.
forced, so
I know on that same line in acting class. We started out acting class, and he says, "Oh, we got time, so let's before since it's Thanksgiving,
reflecting. It's a
let's
time
talk
of
about-
reflection.
Yeah, time to reflect on why you like to act and why you do this and what made you do this and tell us your story." So people took turns and told their stories, and the funny thing is, like 10 people told their story, let's say,
Right.
and all the stories were very similar. It all rooted back to either not wanting to disappoint their parents, or wanting to do something their parents never got to do, or being judged by their parents. Everything had to do with their parent. Like no one ever said anything but I did this in school and my friend said this, so this said this, or these people said this. It was all about their parents.
Don't you realize that everything boils down to your childhood and your parents?
I mean, I know everything does, but when you hear people say the
Oh, yeah.
stories and they're saying almost the exact same thing in a different way, you're like, oh my God, it boils down to the parents. So
Yeah.
when I was talking to Tanner today, I said, man, and he's going to be a dad.
Right.
And so
Which I think you just announced that to the public
It's
for
okay.
the first time.
That's fine. Tanner's going to be a dad. There we go. But he's going to be a dad. And so I said, yeah, everything reflects on your parents of whether they told you couldn't do it or not.
I think he knows
or,
that as a child. He looks at you and essentially blames you for things. But you also have to remember that even though as much as you thought that as you're in your youth, you're looking at it from a child's brain.
Well, of course.
Even if you were like 20, you still have an undeveloped brain. That you're looking at it from a child's brain, not an adult parent brain. So your perception of the situation might be very different of
or
what
magnified
your parent was actually saying or doing.
Right.
Because a lot of times, sometimes you ask like your parent, they're like, I didn't say it like, no, that's not what I said, but that's what you retained.
Yeah.
Like they said it this way, or they said, I worded it like something differently and you took it that way. And that's like,
Yeah.
And that's what stuck with you.
Well, it's a classic thing. You
Yeah.
said, you remember that time you didn't pick me up and I waited there on the
Oh, yeah,
curb all
that's
that time for you? And the mom's like, I actually don't remember that.
I
Oh,
was-
yeah, I do remember. I was like a minute or
That
two
one
late.
time I was like 5 minutes
5
late.
minutes late, and it was tragedy to you. You're
And
crying.
to an 8-year-old,
Yeah.
it's you abandoned me, you left
Yeah.
me, I'm never gonna see you again. I have to go live at an orphanage.
You could literally have an abandonment issue from that.
Yes, you can. You can spiral so deep in your child brain
Right.
that it creates a childhood trauma, and you don't even know it, and you don't even know as an adult that one thing in your life is what did it.
Yeah, and we all have those.
And as a parent, you're like, I was running late. I left work like 2 minutes late and hit a red light.
Yeah, I have those. I mean, for my parents,
Yeah.
I can you can't do that because our family doesn't do that, or we don't do that, or this, that kind
And
of.
what
So
they
you can't do
to
that.
them was like very like practical and make sense. In your brain, it was just like
And
a
my
put
brain is
down
like,
and
I can't do that because I guess we just can't do that because that's the way we
and
are.
it could be like, or I'm not talented enough and they don't believe in me.
Right,
And
yeah.
you put this whole weight on there that they didn't intend to at all put on you.
Yeah.
But
My acting teacher, I thought it was kind of funny because he says, yeah, I was real into. He was a kind of a bigger time actor in theater and acting and stuff like that. And he says I was always in to sports and this and this and this. I did all these sports, and then one day in school came up and they wanted to audition for this play. So he auditioned for the play, and he got the part.
he was
and
all
then he was
happy
like,
and excited.
he was happy. But then he's like, I
No,
don't want to do
sports.
I don't want to do the part because I kind of do sports. I don't have time. I got
Didn't
a
he
job. I had to work.
Didn't
and
he
stuff
like
like
do
that.
sports for like his dad?
Well, I
Like
mean,
he wanted to make his dad happy.
He didn't really say, but it was implied.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to throw on a bus and change the
Okay.
story or whatever. But and
Implied.
so yeah, it was implied. And then so he went to his dad, and his dad goes, "Oh no, I think you definitely should do that." And he was like, huh?
What?
So he did it, and then after his performance, long story short, his dad was crying after the performance. It meant so much to his father, and he's like, "It changed my life forever. I changed my whole narrative on life and what I want to do." And he ended up becoming an actor, and his dad would come to his shows and loved it. And
Yeah.
everything else, but he never knew that
Yeah.
until he saw his dad crying.
And he was like, oh.
It's like, oh my god, my dad actually
I
cares
could have
about that.
gone this path earlier because I enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
I thought that
Yeah, and
this
in my
kind of
mind-
made him happy, maybe.
Yeah, and in my mind,
Implied.
in my mind, I was thinking about God. I wish that would have happened that early for me,
Right.
or whatever. And my thing, I kind of knew I wanted to act and do theater. And when I went to college, I joined theater. And then when I went to, there was an audition. So I said, "Oh, I can audition for a play."
Yeah.
A play, right? So I go there, and theater people.
Oh,
are
they've been doing it
strange,
for
man.
years. Also,
theater people
they're
are
deep.
They're very clicky.
They're very clicky.
I get to know them.
Yeah.
And now I know who they are and what they're about.
But they usually, travel together.
Yeah, and they're very, very, very clicky and very,
Yes.
and they're very vibrant, outgoing people.
Yes.
And if you're not there, they'll run right over you and act like you're not even there.
I believe that.
That's kind of how I've done plays where they don't even talk to you all day, the whole time.
Because you're not in their clique.
Yeah, until you do the play, then they go, "Oh, this guy's okay."
Right.
And so
They have
there's
to
this
accept
theater
you.
type.
There
you know? Yeah.
there is. It's kind of with every other kind of type of
Yeah.
athlete or academic, whatever they have types and they
Yeah.
come, and then they are leery to let you in unless you prove yourself.
Yes, I went to this audition to prove myself, obviously, and I did not. I couldn't do anything. I felt insignificant.
Was like
I
your
felt
first audition?
ever? Yeah.
Oh boy.
Besides high school play, but you
I mean-
kind of just get those parts,
That's
In a
pretty
way.
ballsy.
Yeah, I just went because I figured, how am I going to get in the play if I don't audition, right?
You're right,
So
yeah.
so I went and I felt so bad about myself, and I felt like such a piece of shit. Just felt like
Oh.
crying, and it's like, oh my god, I can't.
Did you cry?
I can't probably.
Okay.
I-
was just gonna-
I can't do this. And I sat in the parking lot. I think at the mall because I had to go to the mall after school. And I
you
sat
had to
at
go
the mall.
to the mall,
and
or
what
you
I-
needed to
and I
like
just-
an Orange Julius at the mall.
Actually, I used to go to Pizza by Piece of the Pie and get a piece of pizza and kind of an Orange Julius. You're right.
I'm really down, so I'm gonna go to the mall and
right.
eat.
I think that's kind of what happened. And I sat in my car and I decided at that moment, at 18 years old,
But it's just you're not gonna
that
do it.
I'm not good enough to do this. I can't do it. So I went a different path
yeah.
at that
I
point.
mean, I get it,
I went a different path at that point that upset me. That I didn't want to go down that path.
but you just thought you couldn't do it.
I just thought I couldn't do it.
right.
And then
Those-
at that time, if you would have asked my parents,
theater
they would have gone,
cliques.
"Oh yeah, see, you can't do that.
Just go
They
pour
do
some
this,
concrete,
and they
Eric,
do-"
and shut up.
Right, and they do that, and you'll be real successful doing
Right.
this. And so I at that point, I adjusted.
That's what you heard.
I
Go
adj-
pour
yeah,
concrete and shut
right,
up.
I adjusted
Yeah.
my life, and I went that route.
Right.
And I didn't get the guts to go back and do kind of what I really wanted to do till I was 40.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's what I said. And then uh, my acting coach, when I kind of told that story a
Yeah.
little bit, he looks at me and he goes, "Eric, you're enough.
Oh, did
You
you get a little
are."
teary-eyed?
I did.
That's
He
cute.
goes, "Eric, you're enough, and you do fit in to the
Oh,
theater
you're a
people."
theater nerd. You're
Yeah,
not a
you
nerd.
are. Yeah, and because he was a theater, and then I was
This
like,
is
"Oh my
no,
god!"
there's no theater
And
nerds.
I just looked at him, and gave him a thumbs up because my eyes were welling up,
Oh,
and I was looking forward. I was sitting
I'm
in the front
enough.
row, and then it's funny. Everybody
I'm
that
in the
told
theater gang.
everybody that told their story would start crying when they told their story. That's how much it
Well,
meant to
kids
them.
usually, there's an emotional tie to it, or
Yeah.
some,
Yeah, there's a huge emotional
Usually
tie
a
for me, man.
disappointment.
Oh, there's a huge emotional tie for me.
I feel like it's
because
good that you're tapping into these things.
I'm tapping into a lot because I go to therapy.
I think that's also good.
And
Well, because I think it's good because then I think through the therapy and everything, you can tap in and kind of find maybe you have like a little like actor's block in there.
Oh yeah, so it's exactly.
And then
it's a good way to describe it.
You're gonna like get that wall down, and you're
Yeah.
just gonna like
Yeah, it's a good
blow
way.
everyone away.
It's a good way to describe it because I'm in my life from that point on, from the college days right there, I had these visions of my life, and I never could do it.
You like literally built a concrete wall around it.
Literally built the concrete wall, but I would have these, and I kind of told my therapist this. I used to have pads and pads of paper, and I would write down my seminars, my shows, my
Oh yeah, you
things that
kind
I
of
would
did that
be
when
in.
I met you.
Yeah, I still do it. And then once I would get kind of sick of it, I'd throw it away.
Yeah.
And then I'd write these
You were gonna write a
charts.
book when I met you.
Yeah, but then I figured I can't write a book because I'm not good like that. It's not my.
Well,
that's
then
not
you were
my
gonna
style.
get my best friend to ghostwrite your book.
I was gonna get someone to ghostwrite my
Yeah.
book, and then I didn't. Then I figured I didn't want to do that anymore. But I
I
used
like
to chart. I used to chart out.
Then you
these
started
things,
a podcast,
right?
and now here we are.
Listen how great I am now. But this helps me get it out. This
Right.
isn't even the tip of the iceberg, but it helps me get it out. This and the acting and everything else. So, you know,
Right.
not that you need to know me that well, but that's what you do.
I kind of need to know you that well.
Hey, when we had Guy from the Golden Bachelorette on a couple weeks
Right.
ago, he was kind of talking about this kind of same stuff.
Yeah, because he was having like life change. You're going through life transformation, just like
Yeah, and I wouldn't call it a midlife crisis because I
no,
kind of already
wouldn't call
went
it.
through
It's not
that.
a crisis. Yeah,
It's not a crisis.
It's
It's
just
just
like-
kind of revelations and not being afraid.
yeah.
You know,
And
not being afraid. And
I
not
think it's not
being-
necessarily finding what makes you happy. I think it's accepting and owning what makes you happy.
owning what makes you happy because
And
when you do a
admitting,
podcast
you
like
know?
this, people will look at you weird
Oh
or
my
say things
God.
about you and do stuff. Who knows what they fucking say behind our backs, but fuck it, I don't care.
I love my favorite thing about everyone saying we're a podcast, and if you've said this and have listened to us, I'm sorry, we're gonna judge you.
Yeah.
Is that they're like, oh my
We're
God,
gonna judge
I
you.
could have a podcast. I want to do a podcast. Like, you should have me on. I'll be a great guest. And it's really funny because people usually like somebody that says that, we would put a mic in front of them and they freeze.
I know.
They're like, what? Well, what do you talk about? Like,
Well-
you're not reading a script.
Well, what I tell people now
You're
when
not-
they want to
yeah.
come on, and I just told this to some girl at acting. It's like I said you can sit in on one.
Yeah.
Just like we had Gianna's dad, Jim.
Yeah.
He wanted to see it, and then I
And
said
then we pulled them in though. Well,
I mic'd him up still,
yeah.
but I put him outside the cameras and stuff, and I put him outside, and it made him feel comfortable. And we should have him back on. I liked him.
You love Jim.
He's in my community.
Kind of. You're
Jim's in my new community.
working on it.
Yeah.
You want him in your community badly.
Now his wife came up to me
Yes, she
and
did.
said,
"Oh,
and
I
Jim
know."
was not. Jim was
He was
not.
a little embarrassed.
See, because he has the fear. He had
Oh,
the
I think
blockage
everyone
and the
has
fear.
fears,
But
yeah.
he doesn't understand. I understand that. I don't care.
Oh, I know.
I like that. I enjoy that. And she came up. Jim wants to start a podcast with you, and I go,
Excuse
no
me.
way, really?
Here, let's do it.
Kyle's out.
Right.
Jim's
Kick
in.
me to the curb.
Kylie's out. And she says, yeah, she wants you guys to go around these restaurants and talk about the food. And I said,
there you go. That
hell
would actually
yeah.
be really interesting because you would kind of get the visual aspect of the food. You judge a food by what it looks like,
Oh, of course, yeah.
and Jim would judge it by what
It
it
would
tastes
taste
like.
Yeah. Everybody
So
doesn't
we've-
know Jim's losing his sight.
Yes,
But,
so he doesn't have the greatest of vision.
I
and
didn't
so
think, I
it
didn't
would
think
be,
about that.
It'd be very interesting the two different perspectives.
What would we call it?
I don't know. I'll think of a name.
Just some good names. I can
Oh
think
yeah,
of
I can
right
think
there.
of a good one.
I want to do this. I would do this with
It
Jim.
could be really
I
interesting.
don't know how or when we record this thing, but
I mean, I
Um,
think you both have a lot of time on your hands.
well, I'm busy, man.
Are
Got
you
shit to
that
do.
busy?
I'm sure Jim's got shit to do.
I
too.
mean, you do. You have things to do, but it's not like you have a lot to do.
right. Jim and I would go out and have one of these cocktails.
Right.
Yeah,
Nah.
look at the
Well,
food.
yes.
Honey, guess what time it is?
Happy hour?
Yep, I made your favorite Juicy Tits vodka cocktail.
Fantastic. Thanks, babe. Love you.
And I love you. And your Juicy Tits.
Go to juicytitsvodka.com to get your own bottle of Juicy Tits, where life is the party.
My mom went to breakfast with her on Thanksgiving morning. And I said, hey, did you listen to the podcast? We put up a fast one because we couldn't put the
I
one up
honestly
with Guy.
do not even remember what we talked about either.
And I said, you got to listen to it. It's called Boner and the Cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you call it that? Why would you call it?
Right.
And I said, don't you remember watching the play? She goes, but that's what it was called. And
Yes.
she kind of
Yes, it
remembered
was.
watching the play. And Gretchen, and so my sister says I wasn't there. And I
She
said,
blocked it from her brain memory.
yeah,
She's like, I
yeah.
don't need that in my mind.
Half the cousins blocked it from their brain, and the
Do you
parents
blame
were
them?
too drunk.
You called
to know
it
they were
boner
the-
and a cheese puff.
Yeah. When I told Ryan
He remembered?
some of the stars of the show, and my brother Matt all of a sudden remembers what this is. No, Ryan and Matt were the stars of the show.
okay.
A Boner and the Cheese Puff. But it was just a name.
Who named something that, though?
It was like Jack and the Beanstalk, Boner and the Cheese Puff. Jack and the Beanstalk, Boner and the Cheese Puff.
I mean, I get it, but when you have like a
I don't think we
8-year-old
really- I
boy
don't think
in
we
a
really
story
thought-
with boner and a cheese puff.
That was just the name of the person, just like Jack
Boner?
was.
His name
Yeah.
is Boner.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
and
didn't
then-
explain
And
that
instead
very
of a
well then.
beanstalk, it was a cheese puff. Think about it.
All I was thinking about, and I thought you said that the name was Boner in a cheese puff, not and a cheese puff. So all I could think about was like American Pie, but it's a cheese puff.
No,
a giant
this isn't
cheese
dirty.
puff.
This is what little kids are in this.
Well, when you name it Boner and a cheese puff, it doesn't sound like it's for children.
It was for the parents. And they loved it. Got rave reviews.
Nobody remembers it apparently,
Yeah.
though.
Speaking of that, River finished his movie.
Right.
I was going to say this last week, but I went and shot the last day. I wasn't in the last part, but I bring the food and stuff.
Right. You
Brought-
bring snacks. You're the
I brought
food
porta
man.
subs, and then I watched the scenes being done. But the scenes were great that he filmed. So now he's all done filming the scenes. So his movie, I
Nice.
think he's going to premiere it like in February or something.
Oh,
so
wow. That's awesome.
I'm very proud, very excited. So I want to see it. And I have a little part in it.
Did
which
he name
I
it
am the-
Boner and a cheese puff?
I don't think he did.
I don't
No.
think he did
I don't think-
either.
he's a little more mature than me.
Right. Uh-huh.
I was 14. He's like 20. But don't,
Are you sure you
no,
were
his
14?
movie's good and serious, and it's gonna be funny, and it's gonna be good. So I'm very excited to see it. And I have I'm a Uber driver. I have
Yes,
a little
you
part
are.
in it too, which is pretty good.
Yes. Very exciting.
You know what's not pretty good, dear?
I do not.
And I'm just gonna say this because I had this. I was gonna talk about it last week.
Oh, what?
Well, first of all, we're in Grey Eagle. The fucking dog stinks.
Oh, right.
It smells like, is it licking itself? Or is it
I don't know. I
gnawing
don't-
on a blanket?
I
It was
don't
like
know
a
what you're
musty
smelling.
fucking dog smell.
She might just need a
the
bath.
whole room stunk. But then I got to thinking,
What?
they have those anal glands.
Oh,
that
her anal
and
glands
it
have been stinky
no, and
lately.
it smells like fish, kind of.
Yes.
And you squeeze them.
I do.
It's so gross. Like normal people take them to the vet and stuff, but you enjoy doing this or
I
something.
don't enjoy it per se, but I can do it. Hers are a little harder. I'm having a problem
and
with hers.
like jelly comes out.
no,
and
juice.
It stinks.
It's liquid.
Oh God. This
It's
is almost
brown
as-
and it stinks.
Do people know about this? I never knew about this.
Yeah, I think most
Only
dog
girl
owners
dogs
do.
or boys?
No, all dogs.
Why do humans have them?
No.
Why do dogs have them?
I don't know. It like lubricates their poop as it comes
Right,
out.
but how would you know how to do this?
I am. Well, because I figured out originally with Tinka because she was getting stinky in
And
the
you
butt
took her to
area.
the vet, and they
No,
said, "Oh, or the
I think-
groomer."
I don't know how I learned that that's what it was, and then I just watched a YouTube video on how to do it.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Then
then I
Skylar
do
used
it.
to groom dogs. She said, "Oh, we had to do it."
Yeah.
So you just
They're not hard to do.
secrete
It's just
the anal
gross.
glands.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think she needs hers secreted. She like fights me on it though, so she's hard to do.
yeah, I would fight you too.
Tinka didn't fight me. She let me do it.
Try to drain mine, I would fight your butt.
You probably like
Fight your
it.
ass, I was gonna say. I would fight you, dear.
But yeah, hers have been a little stinky lately, so I gotta figure that stitch out.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's not stinky? These guys' voices.
Oh.
You sound so good.
With this nasally old voice,
Yes, but it's so clean.
that's why we use Fibonacci Sound Studio, located in Reno, Nevada, led by an Emmy-nominated audio producer.
Fibonacci specializes in voiceovers and voice recordings for games, television, and film production.
So you're saying, if Fibonacci can make my nasally voice sound this good,
Then anybody else's will sound like music to your ears.
for more information or to book an audio session, go to FibonacciSoundStudio.com.
Or call 775-357-8580.
That makes me want to fall asleep. That commercial. I'm getting all relaxed.
It is a little more relaxing than
We had the
say,
hyper loud one, and Dan wanted
right.
that one.
Maybe he's sick of hearing our
I
annoying
know,
ass voices.
I know. He just wanted something mellow on there.
Right.
Life with Eric podcast is brought to you by Petrilla Concrete Construction and Michael Weems Collection. You can see him at Palm Canyon Drive in Palm Springs. Get your Christmas gifts and all your ornaments and coasters and bullshit that you would get from Michael
Right.
Weems. What's his website, dear?
MichaelWeems.com.
Isn't it called Michael Weems Collections?
Nope, I've been saying it wrong. I told you this a couple weeks ago. I've been saying it wrong.
MichaelWeems.com.
Weeks.
If you like this,
MichaelWeems.com.
yeah, if you want to hear his episode, go to his
Know
website,
this?
and it's on our episode
Yes.
is on his website. You can click on it and listen to him.
And
He's
he
a
has
hoot.
got some new stuff on his website. You check it out. It's a hoot.
And if you like us, if you like him, rate us a 5, follow, subscribe, share the podcast by clicking the copy link of Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and people will just love it. Anyway,
Love
dear,
it.
it's that time.
Time for Chico de los
Let's
Compadres.
go, Los Compadres. I was tired now. I got energy.
Oh, okay.
I was tired now. I'm full of energy. Who we cheers today, babe?
I have absolutely no idea. We did not discuss this.
You don't know who we're cheersing
I
today?
don't.
Let's cheers your parents for hosting
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
yeah. Thanks for making dinner for
Let's
us.
cheers my parents for taking Skylar this week.
Oh, yes. Thanks for
Let's
taking her to Kihei Cafe.
Cheers, Allie and Tanner for they're having a baby. We announced it.
Right.
And let's
And-
cheers River
For finishing his movie.
for finishing his movie.
There you go.
Man, that's a good one. We have a lot of shit going on in our lives. And let's cheers our dog
Right.
for having the stinkiest
Stinky butt.
asshole ever.
Not ever, but it's pretty stinky.
Do something. This dog needs a bath or something.
I think she might need a bath as well.
So gross. And this dog lays in my bed. My face lays in that for that ass. I go get up, go to the bathroom. I get back. The dog's asshole is on my pillow.
Yeah, it's
And it's so gross. Then I just lay back on the pillow.
You could flip it over.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could. I guess I could.
There's other options
You must just sit there and laugh at me.
all the time.
You must think it's funny that my face lays on her.
I know she does
asshole.
it to mine too. She did it to me like
Why
an
can't
hour
she
ago.
just put her head where my head goes, not
I
her
don't know. She did the
butthole?
other day. She was laying on your pillow like a human.
That's better. I can deal with that more than a butthole on my pillow. That doesn't cheer me up at all.
Butthole in my pillow. Is that your next play?
Yeah, butthole and the pillow. Who wants to sign up? We're having auditions. Don't be embarrassed. Let your ambitions down and auditions for butthole and the pillow. We'll do it in our garage.
Oh boy.
It'll be great. We'll invite my parents over. Subscribe or follow us wherever you get your podcasts, or just go to our website at lifewitheric.com.
And don't forget to follow us on social media for updates and a closer look into My Life with Eric. To all of our listeners out there, remember, it's always happy hour here.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Love you, baby.
Love you.